So, hi everyone, I'm here with May,
Hello.
and she's a singer songwriter. And what do you call yourself, May? What's your work?
Natural voice healer.
Natural voice healer. And I wanted to share her work with you here on my website because she has been a student of mine with the soul mending and the map of womanhood work. And she's doing incredible work since she trained with me with the soul mending. So this is a video that's kind of like a testimonial for us to share with you this work of embodiment and integration, because we've been part of the same community, haven't we, in Wales?
Yeah.
And it's been amazing to do this work together in a circle with other women, and I call it mending the soul of the village. So May is one of my sisters in this work of mending the soul of the village and becoming embodied and becoming integrated, and what that actually means and how we get to that place at this time on earth now, and fully realize ourselves within the village, but also within life itself and beyond into the heavens. So we're going to have a little bit of a chat about how May's working and how this has all come about. So May, yeah, talk to me a little bit about your work and this voice mending
Yeah.
that you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been working with my voice since I was very young. I was always writing songs. And then when my mum passed over, it was the only way that I could transmute that energy, that emotion, that intense emotion. It's the only way that I could move it. I just knew intuitively that that's how to move grief, is with the voice. It just, because I was a child and I wasn't disconnected from my wisdom, I just did that. So I would write songs about it. We were just talking about choirs. Yeah. I spent a lot of time in choirs, and that's the first time that I really felt like what you were saying, this rapture. I would be singing in the choir and I would just have tears streaming down my face, because really I was experiencing heaven through singing in a group of humans.
Yeah.
And then I've been on my own journey of singing and songwriting, learning mantra, learning how to hold space for people to open up their voice. That's been my journey. But then doing the work with you has really, really opened up a deeper framework and a deeper meaning, like a much deeper meaning, like to what we're doing. So for me, our voice is the sound of our soul. It's our soul vibrating through our living instrument, which is our body. So our soul is a song inside, and our living instrument is our body, which allows us to resonate that out into the physical world. So it's so amazing in that way that we're like this bridge between heaven and earth, because we can hear heaven as a song, heaven's song in our heart, and then we can resonate that out because we are also physical. We can create physical vibrations in this plane, and the earth plane, using our voice.
Yeah.
And so what happens through trauma, which is what Eartha is teaching, which is what you're teaching,
Yeah,
from my understanding, what happens through trauma is the soul becomes fragmented, and we lose or disconnect from parts of our soul through those traumatic experiences, because that part of our soul can't handle it, and it breaks off from the wholeness, or feels as though it's broken off from the wholeness. We never really are, but it feels that way.
Yeah.
And so what we can do with our voice is we can mend our soul with our voice.
Incredible.
Yeah, and I realized this synthesis of the shamanic teachings that I learned and I practiced with you, and then my path of working with the voice, the power of doing that. So somebody comes to me and they say, for example, my uncle told me when I was 6, you can't sing.
Yeah.
And that's a traumatic thing, because as a child, we have no concept of you can't sing. What do you mean? It's my birthright. I am a living instrument. I am singing.
Yeah.
Like, and then we're traumatized from that. And then a part of our voice, which is our soul, leaves us. And then throughout our life, from all the times that we say yes when we need to say no, all the times that we don't express when we need to, all the times that we don't stand up for ourselves, we're losing parts of our voice. Our soul is becoming fragmented. Yeah. And so what we can do with the voice work that I'm doing, combined with the soul mending, which is the integration of those soul parts back into our wholeness through our heart temple, and through loving them back into wholeness, we can find our voice again, our true voice. And to me, our voice is a sacred tool that we've been given to bring heaven's song through onto the earth plane. And that's what we need to do more than ever in these times, is to bring our soul song, bring the song of heaven onto the earth, because everything is vibration. Everything, it's physics. It's not just a spiritual concept. Yeah. So we can affect everything, because everything is an interconnected web. We can affect everything through using our voice in a good way. Yeah. Using our voice to speak our truth from our heart does so much to the collective vibration. But in order to really do that, in order to be actually in the fullness of our vibration, we need to mend our voice from all these experiences where we haven't used our voice, and where in some ways we've betrayed ourselves like that, we haven't, and we have to go through there's also a lot of shame and guilt can come up in this work when we realize that we didn't stick up for ourselves, or we didn't express. So we have to love that. We have to forgive ourselves, and we have to love those parts back into ourselves. And then when we do that, I mean, everything changes. Yeah. Not only can we, and we can do this work because we want to be a better singer, for sure. I mean, that's beautiful, but it's so much deeper than that. Yeah. Yeah.
So because it's a spiritual practice, it's a healing, isn't it? Because like you said, it's going beyond just trying to have a good voice. It's like literally opening up your ultrasonic core, this central river that's flowing through us all the time, that is our anchor to heaven and earth, and allowing it to be expressed fully through the heart, that then you can hear it in the voice. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like it's just so powerful, isn't it, that it's healing people through the voice, through soul mending. And it's like, yeah, your ability to voice your own frequency into the world, which then becomes part of the living ecosystem, doesn't it? Because it's, like you said, a vibration and energetic. So to me, that's like you're able to actually be that walking prayer, because the universe can respond to you, because you're emitting your frequency, your voice into the oneness, into the universe.
Yeah,
so
it's how
it can respond.
Yeah, because that's what our voice is for. It's for communicating with life.
Yeah. Yeah, so it goes beyond into a really strong healing of your whole system, and your ability to integrate yourself, and then integrate back into the living ecosystem of Gaia, and then to integrate what heaven actually is, which is the rapture. It's incredible, May. Yes, I'm totally blown away by having this. We've been talking for ages before we've come on to this, and I'm just totally blown away by where you've taken this work of soul mending. And I wanted to make this video because it really inspires me to talk to mainly women that have done the soul mending and the map of womanhood facilitator training, because we can then actually bring this to our communities and our villages, so that we can all start healing and coming together in that oneness of really seeing the God in each other, you know, and being with others who can really express um, that rapture or that God or the divine or whatever it is, literally through the instrument of our body, is
Yeah.
allowing that mending of our communities because we're being truthful, aren't we? And we can really
Yeah.
resonate with each other, and we can find our place within the living ecosystem with each other as well.
Yeah, because this work, we can bring this work through our gifts, right? So if you're a yoga teacher, or if you're like looking after children, or like anything that you're doing, you can bring, because for me the soul mending has absolutely changed my whole way of viewing healing and what's actually happening in these times. Like, it's a whole framework that makes total sense, and it actually works.
Yeah.
It really like changed my life. It's a whole system of viewing how being a human works.
Yeah, and it's really grounded,
and
isn't
it's
it?
super grounded.
That's what people keep saying to me. It's not an esoteric thing that you can't reach. It's a grounded reality of ourselves within our villages, within Gaia, and then, you know, I mean, maybe some people are triggered by the word heaven, but I'm talking about this pristine life force that is everywhere, that is consciousness, and it's like, yeah, it's so the map of womanhood, you know, and this rites of passage through, you know, recovering rites of passage through soul mending. So, you know, what do you feel about when people recover their voice, about that in terms of their rites of passage into, like it's like crossing a threshold, isn't it, for them?
Yeah. And especially if you can sing yourself through a threshold.
Yeah.
Which is what I see in my sessions all the time. It's like there's a soul part that wants to come in, and that person's feeling a tightness, or in their throat, or whatever is going on, like some anxiety, some kind of, and that to me is that you can feel that soul part wanting to come home. And then you can sing yourself through that rites of passage of welcoming that part. You can sing yourself through that process. You can welcome yourself home using your song, and often that soul part will give you a song.
Because it's like rebirthing itself. So this sort of death and rebirth that rites of passage is, and the surrender that it takes to then allow these parts of yourself home so you can birth the new version of yourself. It's like the surrender then in the holding of the holding that's going on inside, that's not allowing their voice to be expressed, is being, it's like such a letting go, isn't it, when the voice is freed? It is a surrender.
It is a surrender. And it's a sort of strange circle, because we can use the voice to allow ourselves to surrender. So that the voice can open more. But we can actually use the voice to move through that resistance. Or that tightness of like, not, it's like really not wanting to change, isn't it? It's the mind or the identity not wanting to let go. And so we can allow that identity to express itself, to move through our voice as a sound. Which means that we let go of that resistance, so we can actually go through that alchemical process of the death and rebirth in a much easier way. We were just talking about birthing, weren't we? We have to be able to allow ourselves to make the sounds that our body wants to make, to allow us to move through the transformation.
It's just, really profound, isn't it? And then, like, we were just talking about birth, and then also about death, and like that thing of being able to prepare yourself through the voice for these rites and passages that you're experiencing. Like, when you find your own unique song, to be able to express it in the moments where a woman might be giving birth, or someone might be passing over, because it's like, it's your medicine, isn't it? It's your unique expression, like we just said. So yeah, it's taking you through to the other side,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? You know, and I do remember giving birth to my two girls, and really, like, my voice was a lot. You know, it was the sounds I was making was showing me where I was at.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
a mirror of
yeah,
what's happening inside.
yeah,
How your voice sounds is a mirror of what's happening inside.
yeah, yeah. And then when we pass over, I mean, anybody that's done any research on death knows about this music of the spheres and the choir of angels that can be heard. You know, to me, it's like the symphony of all of our souls together as one. So, like, the sooner we can get to that place of knowing our own soul song, the sooner we can become in that unique, that symphony of all of our souls together as one, which is mending the soul of the village.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an incredible. Yeah, is there anything you want to say? Else you want to say? Or is that enough?
I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
For bringing this work in the way that you do. That it's not about going to see a healer and asking them to do the work for you, to journey, to find that soul part, to give it back to you. That you've taught me how to do that for myself, to call back the parts of my soul into myself that I have, which is for me this new age that we're going into. It's not about going to it's not about needing something from outside. Obviously we need mentors to help us, but we are able in this age to feel empowered to do this for ourselves. And that's why I like working with the voice so much, because I'm guiding people to do this work with their own voice.
Yeah.
You don't need another instrument, you don't need anything. It's so sovereign in that way. It's so empowering, because you can heal anything, I believe, with your voice.
Yeah.
You can tell where you're at emotionally. You can move through grief. You can create beauty. You can bless someone. You can do you can do everything with your voice. And I think that's why it's a big part of why I love this work so much, because I can do it inside of my own heart for myself when I need it. And that's just been so magical and profound and life-changing, and I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I'm grateful that you came to sit with me and learn this work as well. And I just feel grateful that that there's women out there, well, men as well, that want to do this work, because to me it's everything. And I just want to say, how do people get in touch with you if they want to? Because the reason why I'm doing this is because I want this Map of Womanhood School to have recommended practitioners from me that you can find. So if any of you want to find May and her work, where can they find you? How do they get in touch with you?
They can send me an email. My email is maybirdSings@gmail.com. It's spelled M-A-E, bird like a bird, sings@gmail.com. Or you can contact me on Facebook. My name is Maybird, and Instagram. My name is also Maybird.
Yeah, and to look up her music and her albums, because they're super beautiful. And so, if you want to train with me, this is the Map of Womanhood School.org, and you can do it online or in person with me, and I can show you this process of soul mending around the Map of Womanhood, and become a rites of passage facilitator in your own community, and do this work of soul mending with others in your own unique way. That's what's really important to me, is that people get to do it in their own unique way, because we can't be a village all doing the same. We all have to allow our own unique expression to be there, to make the rich tapestry of who we truly are together as one ecosystem. So thank you for this beautiful video.
Thank you, Eartha. Love you.
Love you too.